How about them Cowboys, baby? Woo! 43-3. We annihilated and dominated the Atlanta Falcons, aka the Dirty Birds. Those Dirty Birds just got destroyed. And I know all the haters are saying, "Oh, don't get excited. Atlanta sucks. Atlanta's 4-4." They won their last 4 games, or somewhere around there. And they before they faced us, they actually went into the Saints and beat them. I know the Giants did that, but Saints. I guess you can say Saints are up and down, but you know what? They had won 5 games, so and Atlanta managed to go toe to toe and win by field goal. However, they ran into a fucking brick wall against us. Now, in the beginning, after we scored on that opening drive, whenever we received the ball, Dak was able to connect on CeeDee Lamb for, I believe, a 13-yard touchdown pass. The Falcons were able to, drive. They got us passes. But after that, since that wide receiver failed to make the catch, they kicked a field goal. Unfortunately, the next drive we punted, and then the Falcons still drove. I'm thinking, oh boy, here we go. But on 4th and 7, they decided to fucking go for it. I'm like, if I were you, I kick the field goal because you were still in that field goal kicker's range. And guess what? They did not convert on that. And after that, we actually were able to score a touchdown off that. And then after that, the Falcons just went belly up and couldn't do shit after that. They got their chunks of plays here and there, but not a whole lot. And Matt Ryan looked very pedestrian after that. He ended up being 9 of 21 for 117 yards and 2 interceptions, one by Brown and one by Diggs. Then eventually he got pulled well into the third quarter. And the Falcons put in their backup, and he was 1 of 6 for 14 yards. And Jordan Lewis came up with the interception. And by the way, shout out to Jordan Lewis. He was actually doing pretty damn good in this game. So I have to give him some credit. This was probably by far Jordan Lewis's best game of this year. And probably overall the best game that the defense played all year. Because last week, the defense, they didn't know where they were. And they didn't force any turnovers. They got sacks, but they didn't force any turnovers. And we did this without Randy Gregory. And I didn't know if we were going to be able to put pressure on Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan has always had his way on us. He's always played pretty decent games against us, especially at home. So the Falcons were definitely no slouch. Like I said, the Falcons had some decent, wide receiving options. I mean, they had Kyle Pitts, who was starting to really turn it up a notch here. They still had, who was there? I was going to say Calvin Ridley, but I guess, like I said, Calvin Ridley was not playing because of mental issues. I mean, they still had Gage, but yeah, I was thinking when you think about it, they definitely should have dominated the wide receiving core for sure. Because besides Pitts and without Ridley, there was Cordell Patterson, but he didn't exactly pan out at wide receiver, and he could get some good yards on you. And the Falcons did get some good rushing yards, but of course it was towards when the game was out of hand. But overall, the defense, hell of a job, hell of a way to fucking come back, and just pretty much limit the Falcons to hardly much of anything, especially in the second half. They didn't score any more points after that. And hell, I think I even saw Kelvin Joseph play for a couple snaps. If I'm not mistaken, he had a pass deflection. He was able to cover that other wide receiver pretty well. So yeah, hats off to the defense. This is probably by far the best game they played. The lowest amount of points that the Cowboys have allowed, and the lowest amount of points that they held Atlanta in quite some time. Because the last season in the second game, we allowed 39. Mainly that was on us. One of them was a fake punt that didn't go anywhere. Then Zeke fumbled. Then Schultz fumbled. And that's what led to the Falcons, getting getting those touchdowns. And that was back when they had Julio and Calvin Ridley. They didn't have 2 of those receivers. So they definitely missed Julio Jones and probably Calvin Ridley. But still, like I said, Falcons are the Falcons. They could still light you up no matter what. And instead, we lit their asses up. So like I said before, the defense pretty much dominated and annihilated them after those first few drives. So fuck yeah, defense. Now, I haven't even gotten to the offense. The offense, Dak, much better game this time. maybe there were a couple throws that weren't so great, but he played a pretty damn good game. He threw for 2 touchdown passes and ran for 1. And I thought he had over 300 yards passing, but apparently he only had 296. So I thought that was weird. It must have something changed it. But anyways, it was pretty close to 300 yards either way. So Dak had a pretty damn good game. I think he's completed over 70% of his passes. A much better game compared to Denver. So 2 of those touchdown passes went to CD Lamb, baby. Woo! This is by far probably one of the better games that he has played. And I'll say this, Gallup definitely adds another dimension to our offense. He had a couple nice grabs, but that one, you should have fucking caught that, Gallup. It may have been slightly behind you, but come on, Gallup. You got to make that fucking catch. But thankfully, the defense was able to force a turnover. So offense did pretty well. Dak, I think this game was definitely on Dak for sure. They definitely were able to light up the Falcons. Zeke had some decent rushing yards. He got a couple touchdowns, but that fumble, Zeke, come on. Don't fucking give any Falcons momentum on that. But I think we ended up getting that ball back anyway. So yeah, Zeke, you need to keep your head in the fucking game and not fumble again like that, okay? And O-line did much, much better. I'll say this. I know that Falcons had maybe a couple notable players on defense like Dante Flower and I think another person, but I don't know. I don't really follow they have Grady Jarrett, who is a good defensive tackle, because there were a couple times where the Falcons actually stuffed our running game pretty well. But then we started doing much better on offense, and the Falcons' offense started doing much worse. They started getting tackled for a good amount of losses for yards, so yeah. But yeah, just a great win, and now we're definitely much improved from last year in terms of overall record. Now we're 7-2. Definitely won more games compared to last year. But I'll say this: we got a couple of good opponents coming up. We got the Chiefs because we're going to be going to the Kansas City. Then we got the Raiders back at home, and hopefully we'll get a couple players back for that. I guess D-Law still won't be available. Hopefully Gallimore should be available by then. I like to see our fucking defense fully healthy for once and see what kind of difference it would make with our starters back in. Because I'm definitely excited for this season. And it feels pretty damn good to get a dominating win, especially at home and against the Falcons, who always seem to put up some pretty good numbers against us. This time, we held them to 3 fucking points. Something that Mike Nolan couldn't even fucking do last year. Yeah, Mike Nolan, glad you're fucking gone. Dan Quinn, this was a great game for you. This was your redemption game. You fucking probably knew how to keep Matt Ryan on his toes, to keep him, moving. You knew his weaknesses. So it was great for, Dan Quinn to get his redemption and show what kind of defense he can field, especially with a lot of the starters out. So yeah. Fuck yeah, Dallas. Feels great to get this win. Don't think I have anything else, but hey, how about them Cowboys, baby? How about them? Fuck yeah. Chiefs, you're next. So, anywho, I'll be seeing y'all later. Bye-bye.